All right, welcome back to another Resilience Studies Consortium interview. I'm Jordan Spordone. I'm here at Ravenwood with Bruce and Nancy, who are the founders of this amazing place, and I'm here to interview them about environmental issues. Can you guys give us a little background to who you are and how this idea came?
How this came about, that's a roundabout story. I've been interested in alternative construction since I was a kid. I remember the first Earth Day, and anyway, it was just living off the grid and in harmony with nature was always something I always wanted to do. I ended up taking a very convoluted trip through life. And after a military career and a divorce, I met Nancy. And anyway, when we decided we were going to be a couple, that we were trying to figure out how we were going to go forward. And I said, well, hey, I have this thing, and the idea, as I presented it to her, was that we could do this without a mortgage and still be able to retire on time.
Right.
I think that was the big selling point for her, maybe. Or at least well, we'll check it out.
It was the beginning.
Yeah. So, yeah, and then we started exploring different options I was looking at straw bale, I looked at stone, I was looking at the idea of just harvesting green lumber and building. I was looking at everything.
Right.
And that's when there was an article in Mother Earth News about Rob and Jackie Roy building their cordwood sauna. I knew about cordwood construction from Mother Earth News from years ago, and but that's when I noticed that in their byline that their school was in West Shazy, New York, which was only
20
minutes away. And the next day I went up and introduced myself and saw their place and saw all the possibilities, and convinced Nancy to go on a tour, and then from there to take the class. And the rest is history.
Well, I saw that I could do this. I could build
Right.
cordwood masonry, and we decided to start looking for land, and once we had land, we tried our first practice building, and we did all that without even being married and enjoyed it.
Well, that's
fun.
good. Yeah, that helped. Was there like a driving factor behind that decision, the mortgage free, or?
Well, being that we're both second time around, when we started talking about building a house together,
Sure.
The first thing we agreed on is that we both wanted to retire on time. So the idea of taking on a 30-year mortgage at that point in our lives, just didn't, to us, make sense.
Sure.
I mean, we certainly could have, but
But we sat down with paper and came up with a 5-year plan. I was a teacher, so I had summers off, and Bruce was a firefighter professionally, so he could have some time off in the summer too. And so we had 2 months to build over a 5-year span, and so you saved and saved and saved, and once the money was gone, you moved on to other projects that would continue the dream and prepare for the next year. And so in the end, we were living mortgage free, and in a home we built that's very energy efficient, and other than being 2 stories, it'll be a good retirement home.
And it's attractive.
It is very
Everyone likes
pretty,
it.
yes.
Oh, that's cool. And then you took this skill that you acquired and developed and, showed off, and you took it to Paul Smith's College, where I met you guys, and, great teachers, great mentors, great people. Why travel all the way 45 minutes to the college?
Well, being a teacher, that was something I was comfortable with doing.
Mm-hmm.
Bruce had all the real knowledge of building, but together we needed each other to do this. So I would design the lessons and the format, and we made it as much hands-on as we could, and over the course of 4 semesters probably introduced about 100 students at Paul Smith's into the idea of green construction, and that they could do things in their life like we did.
Right. But we many times talked about if, where would we be if we had met earlier in life and done something like this. We got this house finished
2 years before I retired.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a long time living.
Right. So if it had been, say, 10 years, 20 years living mortgage free prior to retirement, I mean, that could have really set us up, But a lot of our goals in that respect has always been about the kids and, making sure that there's something there for them. Right. So.
Yeah, a lot of impact. I don't know. I mean, I know all the students. On behalf of the students at Paul Smith's College, I can thank you guys for making that extending hand, that offering, that new vision of what I didn't think was real or possible. So now I have my environmental goals, to live similar to how you guys do, and I think it's really inspiring. Do you guys have an environmental goal now that you've made it here? What's the next?
Well, we're enhancing our solar array now that Bruce finally has his dream shop, so that we can continue to make our own power between the wind and solar. We are raising chickens. That might lead to rabbits or goats.
I don't know.
We're still trying to become gardeners.
Yeah, there's other things that I would like to do. I'd like to try. Mm-hmm. There's some other building techniques I would like to do and like to try. But as far as lifestyle here, we get the new array up and functioning. Our power should be just about invisible as far as, right now we have to think about, there's very little that we can't do. Right. But sometimes you just got to make different choices depending on depending on the sun and the wind but that I kind of like that in that you got to live with you're a part of the environment instead of apart from the environment. Right. And but with the opportunity I got to put up this new array, it'll give us a lot more freedom for me to work in the shop. Or what I really would like to is to see if we can get us through the dark quarter of mid-November to mid-February and not have to run the generator. I think that would be a cool goal.
Sure. Because those are the slow periods.
That's the shortest days.
Mm-hmm.
Darkest days.
And amazingly, sometimes on gray, ugly days, there's no wind.
Who knew? Yeah, but But that kind of development, you're still going to be, you know, depending on the nature, you know, if you have those gray days where there's no wind, you know, even with the solar.
Then you don't operate tools.
Right.
Yeah.
But the way the system will be set up, we'll be able to shunt that power from the shop to the house.
Right. Right. So that's a pretty big impact for you guys, I know, as a family, and you know your family that comes here and everyone. That living off grid creates minimal impact on the environment. It's pretty minimal, especially compared to any of the cities or the way I grew up. Do you think that one person can make an environmental impact?
Yeah, I think so. I think if anyone that, you know, they have their little piece of land, or, you know, whether they're renting it or whatnot, you know, and if they're just gardening, or just making the choices of you know, maybe using firewood instead of fuel oil or propane, or I think everyone, if everybody did a little something, anything, I think it would add up to a whole lot. I think what happens in the modern, you know, era, that people, you know, they're used to just throw a switch on, turn a knob, you know, there it is, you got, you know, and then, you know, you get jaded to where that's coming from, you know, and next thing you know, you're leaving the big screen TV on because the cat might get lonely, and it's stuff like that, you know. If people can live just more mindfully of the environment, you know, I think there could be huge dividends.
Sure. Nancy, you agree with that?
I do. I think that the idea of reusing, recycling has been around long enough that it's a little more habitual for people.
Right.
And we try to do that here as well. And, you know, secondhand clothes, or what we're using to cover our wood piles, our barrels that used to hold soap for car washes, cut in half.
Right.
And that if people started thinking more along those lines,
I think people, you know, like, they forget, or they don't, you know, make the connection anymore that the choices that they make, leaving the lights on and the heat turned up or the AC on, and let the car idle and stuff, you know, that it's not that it's bad enough that they're wasting resources, but they don't realize they're wasting their life's energy, because they've got to go to work and earn the money to let the car idle, to leave the big screen TV on all day, to let the air conditioner cranked all the way down low, you know, and then they complain about their lives and what they, you know, I can't get ahead. Well, here's why you can't get ahead.
Yeah. Look at what you're losing versus what you're gaining.
Right.
That whole idea.
So, like, with this house and in our lifestyle, you know, we've created a life where with minimal money input to keep this place running. I mean, the whole idea, the design of being passive solar, it's free heat, right?
manure toilet, so we're not using as much water.
Right. The fact that, you know, we chose to build a double-walled cordwood house, it took us longer, more, and more work and whatnot. But now we heat it, so easily on just 2 cord of wood a year that, I think about how much of my life energy I got back because I don't have to go out and either collect or cut that wood and stack, or the friends of ours that burn 10, 15 full cords in a winter.
Right.
That's crazy. Just the amount of work to tend that fire.
All the time.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, but so we hope we sort of prepaid that by building a very energy efficient house.
Well, you put the energy into the house, and now the energy from that is still and will always support you in the house.
Right, and then also the house is designed to last. It'll outlast us by a long shot, I hope. But with whether it be one of the grandkids or somebody else that ends up living in this house, that efforts will still be paying dividends to them.
Right.
Yeah,
it's a future thought. I don't know. How long do you think the house would last?
Some cordwood homes are a couple hundred years old.
there are cordwood homes in Scandinavia that have been continuously occupied for almost 300 years.
We've been through 2 hurricanes.
Yeah.
And some earthquakes and
Several. Yeah.
Wow.
doesn't move, doesn't budge.
And you still get those advertisements to lower your energy bill.
Yes. They'll call. We can help you save money.
We can lower your energy bill. Really?
Yeah, you gotta get some comedy out of it. So to end this all this is a lot to take in, especially for all the listeners who don't know what I'm looking at. What's one piece of advice you'd give to anyone looking at future environmental actions, looking at future anything around the environment?
Use what you have.
Yeah.
Don't truck in stone. Don't haul in wood. Use what's local, and you'll save money, you'll save time, you'll help the environment.
Right size your life. You don't need 5 bedrooms and 3-car garage. Just right size it to fit your life and your lifestyle, and that way you don't become a slave to the house, and you'll be more free to actually have a life and enjoy life. And then I think if people would do that, then they would appreciate the efforts that go into being environmentally friendly.
Yeah, I like that. Living locally, it reduces a lot of environmental impacts and costs and stuff like that. And then understanding your needs. What's your actual discomfort level? I know you guys talk about that too.
Yeah. Right. Just it's like that. I joked with you in the past about even if you win the rat race, you're still a rat.
Yeah.
So just, I don't know, one of the things, like the students in our classes, there was a lot of them that seemed to have that the attitude of, like, they really didn't seem like they wanted to jump into the craziness. Like a lot of them seemed to have these ideas of living more minimally, you know, and try to be out and enjoy life and yeah, and not be a slave.
Yeah. Would you say that too, Nancy? On that note, like students?
Yeah, looking back, I think that there were only a handful who built, you know, their dream home was going to be this mansion.
Right.
And most other people kept it to a size based on the location and the type of lifestyle they wanted. How they were going to heat their home would be influenced by their job if they weren't going to be home during the day. And I
think most of them almost would at least supplement with wood.
Right.
And most wanted solar. A lot of students wanted to build log homes.
Yeah.
Living roof. And once they saw ours and that, you know, it's done.
Right.
You don't have to reshingle in 20 years or
Right. Yeah.
do anything with it. We've got a couple places where we put up metal roofing and we're collecting the water to fill the plunge pool or water the garden.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm part of that metal roofing gig.
Yes.
Workshop.
Yes.
Do you think that that shift in students' views, or like the feeling you got from them, is that a generational thing, or is that a college thing?
Yeah, I kind of always attribute it to a Paul Smith thing.
Yeah, I think it's more of a college thing.
Yeah, but it always surprised me.
There were students who we met in our course who had chosen that school, I think, because of the landscape and the opportunities to live close to the land, not an urban center,
Right.
but a small rural community.
Yeah, I know that's partly why I chose it. I mean that, and I knew there was a green construction class.
Liar.
Yeah. No, it was a great course, and I know this year you guys didn't do it because of COVID, but hopefully next year the school will offer it in the fall, and you guys get to be part of that, which would be fun. I don't know, anything you want the listeners to think about?
Just do it.
Nike.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't be afraid to fail. Just, it's a kind of a lifestyle, it would, especially like college students, you just finished up, maybe you spent 4 years stuck in a dorm or whatnot, you take this kind of a lifestyle for a test drive, go live it for a little while, try it out. And I think most would be surprised at the comfort level that they can achieve and the freedom that you achieve. Like for us, what was it, April, May, we had this winter's worth of firewood. It's split stacked. It's in the house.
Right.
It's already there. That's like money in the bank. It's better than money in the bank. It's just the pressure's off. COVID, everything else going crazy. We're not going to freeze.
That's right. Yeah, no. That's the heat of Ravenwood. Well, thank you guys for your input.
Like us on Facebook.
Yeah, that's right. Smash the like button. We'll see you guys over there on the other webpage. So yeah, that's Nancy and Bruce from Ravenwood. The most amazing people I've met. Great mentors, great instructors, great family, and I've loved my time here. So thank you guys for allowing me to work with you this summer and for this interview.
You're welcome, Jerry.
Great. We'll let you sleep inside tonight.
Oh boy, got that on record. All right, that's it for the Resilient Studies Consortium interview. Take care, everyone.